What is your addiction that is holding you back? I'm assuming if you clicked on this video that you do have one. The first step we need to take to breaking our addictions is to acknowledge that they do exist and we do have them. You need to accept it so you can move on to becoming a new, better version of yourself that overcame that addiction. We were taught that addictions are bad, but have you ever asked yourself why they are bad? What do they really do to a person? When you have an addiction to something, you feel like you can't live without that thing. Like you need that thing to cope with the stress of life or to add a certain pleasure to it. But the pleasure is only for a moment or a little while before you feel like you need it again and again and again. This is what a serious addiction does to a person. It makes them reliant on it to survive, to live. It makes them weaker than they could be. But that's a serious addiction. There are many smaller addictions / bad habits that feel like they add a handicap to your life. Like a small weight draining your happiness, little by little, but not serious. Yet, does this seem familiar to you? To always be leaning on that one thing despite it clearly having a negative effect on your life? The moments of genuine happiness and love slowly slipping away. To excuse yourself by saying, one can't hurt and I can stop whenever I want. This type of thinking will keep you stuck forever. You might feel like your addiction is not that bad, but if you are being totally honest with yourself, you are. If you were not, then why are you still here? Although I do respect you for trying to change. You know it's hard and uncomfortable, but you still try and achieve it. That's admirable. So how do you change? How do you become your best self? Well, there are many ways that I try to stop my bad habits with. Keeping a streak of how long I was free of it and trying to simply have a strong will to go against it. But those never worked for me. It only pushed the thought deeper and deeper into me that I would forever have it and I could never escape it. There was only one method that helped me to rid myself of the addiction, and I hope it will do the same for you. But before I say it, just promise me you will listen to everything I'm going to say with an open mind. Okay, you good? Perfect. I simply forgot about it. What I mean by this is I filled my days with more things that I valued and actually wanted to achieve, and this made me focus more on those things and forget about my addiction. Let me explain. Addictions are habits. Habits have triggers and are done consistently over a long period of time. This is why it's so hard to break an addiction, since it feels like it's breaking a part of your identity. Addictions usually have some sort of pleasure attached to them. This also makes it hard to let it go, since you will lose that quick, easy pleasure. But I want to ask you something. Is the pleasure of the moment worth sacrificing your future genuine happiness? Is that pleasure worth a lifetime of regret? That's up for you to decide. Just think about it the next time you feel like indulging in that pleasure. If you want to break your addiction, you need to find its trigger. The trigger is the thing that makes you want to do the habit. Examples would be, say you are bored and you see the remote. You take it and you switch on the TV. The remote was the trigger to watching TV, but also the moment of boredom was a trigger. That's why I said you should fill your days with activities you know you must do, and are enjoyable, as it would limit random boredom periods that could result into something negative. A routine is what I'm stating. You can make gaps in the day for doing what you enjoy and relaxing, but just make sure you do things you actually enjoy and you genuinely rest. Once you find your trigger to your addiction or bad habit, make it as hard as possible or as inconvenient as possible to start the addiction. A change in routine or the order you do things could make it too hard to start the bad habit, and thus you don't. I would suggest changing your environment to make it easier to do good habits rather than bad ones. This could include moving your phone away from your bed, so that when you wake up, you don't waste time on your phone. And you move a water bottle close to your desk so that you tend to drink more water from it. Those small changes in environment can help to change your life. Now, let's say you apply everything I've said, and it works for around a week, but then you relapse. Are you doomed to always giving in? No. Remember, you must break the addiction. Keep trying again and again. Have the mindset of someone who has already broke the addiction. Don't tell yourself you'll try to break it. No, you will do it. If you do this, you will separate yourself from the addiction as part of who you are. So, to summarize what I've said in the video this far, addictions are habits. Habits have triggers. To eliminate your addiction, you need to make it harder to actually start the addiction, and you need to replace it with a good habit. It's easier said than done, but remember what I said: if you give up, you will forever be a slave to your addiction. Fight to regain control of your life. So many people have done it and are in the process of doing it. You are no different. You got this. I support you. Remember, you need to actually apply what I've said in the video, not just listen. The only one who can make the difference is you. Also, last note, I state this in the description of this video, but I'll say it again here. This video aims at smaller and less serious addictions and bad habits. If you have a serious problem with addiction, please seek professional help. To achieve the impossible, you need to first believe you can do it. With that being said, I hope you found today's video helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video.